Tech Time com Arte Tholel. Mas nós estamos de poucas para dar informação de tecnologia. Você gosta de tecnologia? Você conhece tecnologia? Você não conhece tecnologia? Aqui nada vamos estar para operar informação que é tecnologia. Vamos aqui com nós para esse mar. Agora nós vamos ver a sessão de newest gadget. Kiko está novo riba mercado, tecnologia nova. Vamos também ensinar e mostrar mais dias. Bussen de escola também está modernizando. Está quitando fora diesel e vai corrente. Vamos aqui.
One thing I love about this bus is just how quiet it is.
The electric vehicle revolution is making its way to a new segment, school buses.
The kids love it because it's something new. It's something kind of almost space age to them.
The drivers really like the electric bus, the features. The students as well. One of our staff members equated it to the Cadillac of all buses.
A number of companies are involved, from traditional school bus manufacturers Bluebird and Thomas Built to electric vehicle manufacturers Lion Electric and Green Power Motor Company.
For parents, they know that this is a better ride for their kids. We know that diesel is a known carcinogen. It brings along a whole host of respiratory issues.
They not only smell like really bad, but they're also extremely noisy.
Prime example of that, the noise of a diesel bus starting. Whereas for these buses, you don't get that noise anymore.
And then you get the puff of exhaust, and if there's people around it, they tend to get upset. But these don't do any smoke at all.
In the US, 26 million children take 480,000 buses to get to and from school every day. Converting that fleet to electric could have a big impact.
It's the largest public fleet in the country. Electric school buses on average have half the greenhouse gas emissions of any other source.
The industry is poised to take off. The global electric school bus market is estimated to reach $40 billion by the end of 2030.
There's at least one electric school bus committed in 38 states and 2 tribal nations.
I definitely feel like it's a very cool way to not only help the environment, but also just a fun way to travel.
This is where the entire world is going, towards a cleaner transportation sector.
Transit bus was the first segment to move towards battery electric technology, but school bus is fast following. It's a great application.
They're running fixed routes and then coming in during the day before going out and running additional routes in a typical use pattern.
The first electric school buses were deployed in 2014 in California with the Kings Canyon and Escondido school districts.
Since that time, we've seen some steady growth. We're still at about 3% of the fleet.
The buses are expensive, about 3 times more than their diesel counterparts. But adoption has been gaining momentum as schools replace their aging diesel fleets.
There's about 12,700 school buses in what we call a commitment stage. So that's either ordered or delivered. And just in the past 6 months, we've seen about 500 new electric school bus commitments.
Just like electric cars, the buses benefit from reduced costs of fuel and maintenance.
You're buying electricity, and for most people in most places, that works out a lot cheaper than buying diesel or gasoline.
And the maintenance demands are lower, so less downtime for the vehicle, because you simply don't need to take it out of commission as often as you need to for a diesel product.
They also come with the added utility of providing energy storage resources when not in use.
In case of an emergency, we can take one of these buses over to, say, a school, a hospital, any place that needs power, and then they could actually use power from our batteries.
In places like California, where the power grid does come under significant stress, particularly at times of year where maybe school isn't in session and all these buses are sitting in a barn somewhere, it's just another battery that can help level load the power system.
Atividade de tecnologia que introduzir novo, que cabine novo, costa moderno. Spanwak está aqui comigo e me deve dar uma explicação de jeito. BlackBerry estava onde é marca de telefone que tu rene estava aqui. Tu rene estava aqui, por motivo que essa aqui estava é promete telefone que por mandar e-mail for DJ. É promete telefone não avançar. Pero que a passa com BlackBerry? Vamos escutar a história de BlackBerry.
For much of the mid to late 2000s, Research in Motion's BlackBerry was the most popular smartphone brand in the US, and it wasn't close, making up about 43% of smartphone users at its peak. Even after touchscreen phones from Apple and Google became mainstream, BlackBerry still maintained a strong user base for several years.
RIM is now worth about $66 billion. That's with a B.
Some couldn't imagine using a phone without a keyboard. Others wanted the advanced cybersecurity that BlackBerry phones offered.
Something that BlackBerry is known for is not getting hacked and having security and privacy, something that is near and dear to our DNA.
And the company's stock peaked at nearly $150 in 2008. Now it's sitting pretty at around $5. January 2022 marked the end of an era.
A moment of silence for dear departed BlackBerry. Starting today, the BlackBerry classic device, once a go-to for millions, including then-President Barack Obama, will no longer work.
After over 2 decades of servicing mobile communication devices, it established software and cybersecurity as its sole business.
Because they are trying to stage what would be a tremendous turnaround for a company that once used to make smartphones. So they are playing it cautious, but playing it cautious on the other hand is limiting their growth potential as well.
But the margin's going up, and one of these days the switch will flip. So we are hiring and growing and spending.
Overall, it was a tough transition, and I'm proud of the way we're pivoting.
So what made this iconic brand have such a meteoric rise and catastrophic fall, and what is it up to now? BlackBerry was founded in 1984 as RIM, short for Research in Motion. Its first product was Budgie, which allowed information to be displayed on a screen wirelessly. While Budgie did have some initial success and was even used by General Motors, it didn't last. It made several other products, including DigiSync, a device used in film post-production, which won an Academy Award for technical achievement. But it wasn't until it developed the RIM 900, one of the first wireless devices that could send and receive data, when Research in Motion really started to pick up steam. It used an early wireless data network to send and receive messages, and it set the groundwork for what would eventually become a BlackBerry. The earliest iteration of the BlackBerry phones we all know began in 2002 with the 5810. It could send and receive messages and also allowed for use of a simplified browser.
It was really interesting to go from small volumes of these interactive pagers to huge volumes of smartphone handsets.
BlackBerry's popularity peaked in the late aughts. At the time, the brand and its products were quite simply a cultural phenomenon. Coined the Crackberry by many, the phones were seen as addictive, one of the first glimpses of how smartphones would eventually take over our lives.
It was really an exciting time. I mean, we as a company had a really strong product.
That's Sarah Tatsis, who joined BlackBerry when it was still known as Research in Motion in 2001. President Obama was the first high-tech president and was adamant about keeping his BlackBerry while in office.
But I'm still clinging to my BlackBerry. They're going to pry it out of my hands.
In 2007, it was the most valuable company in Canada, surpassing Royal Bank, which held that spot for about 2 years. In 2010, it acquired an operating system called QNX. While BlackBerry was still largely focused on smartphones at the time, this move has since proven to be a massively important acquisition for the company.
I was very excited to be part of the charter to help BlackBerry in the next generation initiative, and also as QNX was now on a world-scale platform.
Charles Egan joined BlackBerry in 2011, largely because of its acquisition of his former workplace, QNX. BlackBerry's fiscal peak was in 2011 when it did nearly $20 billion in revenue, with over 80% of that being from hardware. Even Kim Kardashian was an unofficial brand ambassador, using the phones until 2016 when her last BlackBerry devastatingly died.
A BlackBerry, it's my heart and soul. Like, I love it. I'll never get rid of it.
And she wasn't alone with her devotion to the brand. Well past its prime era, many people held out from switching over to a completely touchscreen smartphone, seeing keyboardless phones as undesirable. But in 2007, everything changed.
And we are calling it
J&S Tours, o paquete ng mas atrativo tanto para 2022 de fim ano aqui e 2023. Kiko tabay ting, piang que seguro atividade de Páscoa, se você interessar para ver luz, será conhecido para Páscoa, vai atividade alegre, toma contato com J&S Tours. Seguro botar essa aqui a preço mais agradável. O outro área, se você tem que vai, por exemplo, Medellín para check-up, J&S Tours tem essa aqui para tour posso reglar, tanto com doctor, especialista, hospital, tour posso reglar para mesmo, hasta transporte cuta, buscava de hotel, e vavo a localidade e buscava back e recebo back hotel. J&S Tours tem tours aqui na Pau. Se você quer viaje riba barco cruzeiro, se você vai Orlando, Canadá, Las Vegas, se hasta você vai Alaska, Dubai e Austrália, toma contato com J&S Tours para sobra. Tem tour e tours na aqui possível para boa pessoa. E J&S Tours sempre está só para o sonho virar realidade. Toma contato com J&S Tours, ABMS, na 513-4146. WhatsApp 24/7. Tour hora, tour dia, tour momento, nanto contestava o back. J&S Tours. 513-4146.
Crescer uma companhia sem raça uso de muito online é quase impossível. E sim, nós ainda meio busca bem focus em o que tem na last página. Sem a branding, website ou criar propaganda no da representar uma companhia, nós temos essa aqui para. Tanto temos a focus em o que é meu produto e serviço, nós não só de atrair cliente novo para o online. Nós tá claro para crescer uma companhia de 2022, toma contato com nós.
For di anha 1930, Boolchands está brindando o melhor serviço. Produto de qualidade com amor e carinho. Nos saca duro para trazer e spar, para assim chegar na qual você deseja. Da PC, nós está introduzindo o serviço de garantia B-Care, para assim dar uma oportunidade para assegurar boa inversão. Faça uso de boa inversão com toda tranquilidade.
Dentro do programa de nós está unbox uma tecnologia. Porque está quem está cerca de nós, é aqui in the house, então, que nós sabe unbox? Vamos aqui comigo. De Boolchands nós está headphone. Headphone de Sony. Que nós mira com headphone aqui está assim. Headphone aqui vou conectar com o iPhone, o iPod, plus tem Alexa built-in. E tem ook Google também. Dus vou maquinar porque tem Google, bota papi com ele gewoon, então é direcionar, é assim o que vou pedir. Vai bem, nós estamos com isso aqui tá. Nós estamos a biele, nós estamos aqui tá 1000 series, 1000X series. Nós estamos a bem. Até sua taça aqui, ok? Então a taça vem com O manual também completamente separado. Nós vamos ver. Nós temos o manual dentro, su informações, su warranty, su 360 reality audio. Wow, impressionante. Nós vamos com essa aqui também. Essa aqui não. Ok, vamos abrir. Para nós vamos conhecer e headphone que o Boolchands está obsequiando a nós à noite. Ok, sabe bom aqui? Com um silêncio. E essa aqui de headphone. Dobla, é maneira que pode desejar, é banda que pode desejar. E pode mirar a turna cozinha ou pisar para o visto. Yes, nós acabamos de conectar com o nosso telefone, então nós vamos vestir agora. Para um rato. Oh, wow! Sempre tomando nota com esta schuif drin, esta schuif sali. Wow. Esta própria. Eu conecto ao Sony. Master esta. Mita própria, mi nota tende aqui como me estava piando, pero me supone que me estava piando algo correto. Pero música só da escucha. Então não tende nada. Óbvio bom. Só o único Boolchands Master. Não, eu me tá querendo, mês tenho que passar lora, bisa não que passar, me tá querendo que saque você. Hope Master tá. Hope bom. Bom, não tá tendo nada. Se você tem trem, de comboio, uma coisa, ok, boa tranquilidade, boa paz, ou botar na casa, piscina, da boa, ou algo assim, né? Compra você na Boolchands. Vale a pena. Então, vou perder fácil, se você vira de tour maneira, esta direita para dentro, esta sale fora, master. Fenomenal, então seguro mais que 30 horas de standby. Então, busca de boa coisa. Essa aqui estava da Turcos para a noite. Danke para seguir-nos, seguir-nos riba tour mídia social, Facebook, YouTube e também tem hobby mais. Danke segura no sponsor, não que você mirar riba a pantalla, que tahasi e programa aqui possível para. Até outro semana, com Deus poder. Feliz noite.